Morning travelers, Tara here, Hidden Lotus Tarot. Today is January 16th, 2017, and I'm coming to you today with a general reading for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Please keep in mind that this is a general reading, so the messages will not resonate with everyone. In order for you to gain more insight into your particular situation requires a personal reading. As I always say with the general readings, take what you can and disregard what you cannot. If you're interested in a personal reading or you'd like to find out more about my services, you can click on one of the little banners that will pop up in the right-hand corner of the video. That'll take you directly over to the website. We are still under the auspices of the Mercury. I don't know if it's auspices, but we are still under the Mercury direct shadow phase, which ends on the 28th of January. And then on the same day, we have a new moon in Aquarius. New moons are beginnings. They're a time to start things. Full moons are endings and completions. So I have with me the Rider-Waite, the Radiant White deck, the La Vida Sibila, the Sibila Endovina, and they also have the Angel Answer cards. And I use those at the end of the reading in case the reading the 9-card spread does not answer a question for you. Perhaps the angel answer cards will, whatever question you have. And the way it works is you formulate a question in your mind after I close the 9-card spread down, and then I will pull an angel answer card, and hopefully that will answer your question for you. Sometimes they don't always make sense, but you have to think about it. But anyway, that's how that works. Let's go ahead and do 9 cards. Welcome new subscribers. I've had some subscribers leave, and that's okay. I guess because I'm not producing as many monthly videos. I'm doing mostly the open readings. But what people don't, because people don't read and they're kind of lazy, I admit I'm that way myself. The December monthlies were posted back in November. So if you want to go back and look at your December monthly video, please go to the December playlist. That is the only playlist that is up right now. Everything else I have taken down. And there is a reason behind that I'm not going to go into, but you can still access the December monthly videos through the December playlist. So you can go back and compare that and look at those monthlies and compare what is coming out in the January monthly for your sun, moon, or rising sun. I do suggest that if you choose to book a reading that you go to the tab that says important information about booking, read first, because that will explain a lot to you. And then we don't have to, do back and forth 25 messages. If you just read it, it'll explain, okay, a lot of things to you. All right, here we go. 9 cards down. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising for January 2017. Not bad, not bad. And we have the Judgment card as the overall energy. Now, for those of you who don't know how the tarot works, the tarot is broken down into 2 groups. We have the Major Arcana, which is what the Judgment card is part of that group. The Strength card here. And then we have the Pip cards. These are the numbered cards, and the Court card. So that would be your 10 of Wands. I'm just going to show you the cards. The Ace of Wands. The 5 of Cups. Then we have the Major Arcana of the Strength card, the Knight of Wands, the 4 of Wands, the 3 of Wands, the King of Coins, and this is also a Pip card, but he's known part of the Court cards, and then we have the 9 of Swords. Now there's a profusion of fire here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So some of you Aquarian sun, moon, and risings may be dealing with a fire sign individual, which would be a Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. But at the same time, I do feel even the Judgment card is a fire card. At the same time, I do feel that this has to do with the transit of Saturn in Sagittarius. And as a matter of fact, I think that this card represents the time of Saturn in Sagittarius. This is a planetary transit. Saturn is the taskmaster. He teaches us lessons. He is slow, stuck, difficult energy. A lot of times it will manifest as anxiety, fear, worry, blockages, feeling like you're all alone. And Sagittarius is more of an expansive energy. The sign of Sagittarius rules people and places at a distance, foreigners, higher education. It rules religious beliefs, spiritual beliefs, travel to foreign places and foreign things. It is a more expansive energy. It is actually known as the Guru sign, and it is ruled by Jupiter. So we are in the middle of, we just started pretty much the transit of Jupiter in Libra. Jupiter transits through each zodiac sign for 1 year. It takes 12 years for Jupiter to make a transit back to your sign. So many of you will be coming up on your Jupiter return, I think in 2019. And Jupiter comes in to give you some abundance. So if you're struggling with a lot of things right now, do know that it is part of the Saturn in Sagittarius transit. And what happens when Saturn transits through, let's say the sign or two signs before yours, it does touch you. It can create some difficulties, you know, things not seeming to going the way that you want, financial difficulties. Sometimes there can be health issues or health issues surrounding people that are close to you. So it kind of creates, in a sense, like burdens, okay? And then Jupiter comes in to give you some relief. And when Jupiter comes in, it brings about new opportunities, expansion, and growth. That's that Sagittarius energy that we're speaking about. But because it is in Libra, Libra rules the 7th house, which is the house of partnership and marriage. Typically, what can happen under the Jupiter in Libra cycle is that a lot of people will get together. A lot of people will divorce and separate. And there can even be more than one relationship. And this can apply even in a work relationship, because that's what Libra rules. It rules not only marriages, but it rules business partnerships as well. Okay. And sometimes friendships. It is also known as the house of open enemies. So in other words, what was once wonderful between the two of you, depending on what happens, now you're fighting, you know, openly in front of the public, and you are fighting like cats and dogs. Right in the center, I have the, one other thing I wanted to explain is that the major arcana card take more weight. They hold more weight over every other card in the spread. The way the cards are read are past, present, future, past, present, and future, and then the interplay of the cards. Right in the center, I have this Knight of Wands. Now, some of you Aquarian sun, moon, and rising can be also dealing with either a water sign or an earth sign. Any sign really. But because I have such a profusion of fire here, I do sense in one respect that it's a spread speaking about two different fronts. We're dealing with work, because that's what the wands represent. They typically represent work endeavors, new work projects. But they also have, to me, an emotional component. And what I mean by that is that wands, the fire energy, is all about your fighting spirit, your determination, your go-get-em attitude. Okay. And I kind of equate that more to an emotional thing. The cups do represent emotions, not just love, but anything that can make you feel good, bad, sad, happy. The coins represent not only finances, but they also can represent the practicality or the actual doing of the work. Okay. And then we have the swords. And here we have the 9 of Swords card. And the swords represent thoughts, perceptions, beliefs, ideas, okay, concepts, communications. The major arcana cards simply represent life lessons or some kind of trial that you're having, you may have to experience. And so these could either be warnings or advice. Now, with the Knight of Wands in the center, I feel that for some of you, you are someone from your past has returned. Now, typically what happens under a Mercury retrograde is old lovers do return. Okay, they do. 9 times out of 10, they don't stick around. This could also be you hearing from somebody that you haven't heard from in a very, very long time. They make contact. It's like you've been thinking about, suddenly that person pops into your head, and then suddenly they contact you. They email you, they call you, they text you. But to me, Knights represent events. They can represent people, in which case this would be, again, as I say, a fire sign individual. This would be someone who's younger, perhaps in their late, I'm going to say early 30s, late 20s to late 30s, okay? The energy of the Knight of Wands is, if this is somebody new, let me put it this way, and even if it's somebody old, if they've returned back, trust me, with this energy, they're not there to stick around, okay? They're just kind of breezing through. But Knights bring news and messages, okay? Now, across the top, I have the Ten of Wands, the Ace of Wands, and the Five of Cups. And the Ten of Wands is about the traditional meanings of the card are stress or burden, but it also represents a success. It is about having a lot of things on your plate and just kind of, you know, buckling down and plowing through it. That's that Saturn energy. This could be in a work endeavor. Maybe you have a lot of work projects going on, or maybe your work is causing you a lot of stress. I feel that for some of you, you may be wanting to move. You may be moving for work. And the reason why I say that is this guy is trying to get to that house in the background. Here we do have the house card. Okay. And here we have somebody standing on a bluff looking out over a water scene. Okay. So some of you may want to move from wherever your location is. Some of you may be moving for work. Some of you indeed may have had to move back home or will be moving back home, perhaps due to a family member or a relative. But from the top row, I can see the Ten of Wands with the Ace of Wands. Now, the Ten of Wands, as I said, can be, you know, about a burden, but it can also be a success. And I feel that whatever this thing is that has come, that you've been dealing with, and for those of you who this energy has not played out or started for you, it will be playing out through the rest of January, perhaps into February. There is no timing in the tarot. So you've been struggling along, and a lot of things on your plate, and you're just trying to, like I said, buckle down and get things done. The Ace of Wands comes in to say that this is a new energy. Okay, so there's something new. Perhaps there's a new work project. Perhaps it's simply a new idea of how to deal with all of this. Or perhaps it is simply, and typically what happens, the 10 is the last of the pip cards, the number, and then it turns into an ace. Okay, so this is after some struggle, something new, some kind of new, this could be you feeling better. This could be you starting a new exercise program. It could be you've gotten rid of all of those old work projects, and now you're free and clear to start something new. But I can see that for some of you, something did not go as planned, even with this new thing. And I would feel that perhaps you tried to start something under the Mercury retrograde, which began back in December. I think December 28th. And as the cups simply represent emotion, this to me represents some type of emotional adjustment. It speaks to a loss of some sort. So maybe with these three cards at the top, whatever new thing you tried to start meant you had to leave something behind that felt very, very, that you very, very emotionally tied to. Okay. Now, sometimes this card can be speaking about a third party coming into the situation. Okay, and the reason why I say that is we have these two cups in the background. So I call this card the Two of Cups in disguise. If this is not about the loss of a partner, whether in business, friendship, familial, uh, romantic sense, this card says that, try to accept the loss as best you can, because sometimes it's going to be about a necessary loss, okay? But know that when you lose something or you put something down, the universe abhors a vacuum and it brings something new in, okay? So that's why you have those Two of Cups there. Here we have that, okay? I feel that for some of you, down the vertical past column here, we see that you've been struggling and you've really just kind of, as I said, buckled down and gotten your shit together, and you've really been working very hard, and that has created the space and or the opportunity for this Three of Wands. Now the Three of Wands is all about planning, launching plans, dreams. This guy is, we don't know if he's standing there, if he's waiting for his ships to come in, or if he sent his ships out to sea. But this is about starting something new. Now, when I see the Three Wands here, and most tarot card readers will say if it's the number three, the number three cards show up. But what I have here in one sense is I have two threes here. I have Three Wands and Three Cups. Okay. And what this tells me, because this is on the past row, is that perhaps somebody that you have been in relationship for a long time, or it's been a very, very difficult type of relationship, that you have really just been trying to maintain your strength in. I feel that somebody has walked away from this relationship. You see the guy's back is to us. And that's why we have this Three of Cups. Okay. I feel that this middle row, which speaks to the present, that somebody has left home. Somebody has left the house. And this Strength card. Now, the Strength card is about grappling with those passions, those desires, maybe your anger, maybe your fear, and getting a handle on those things so that you can do what it is that you need to do, and remain determined and focused, that fighting spirit. It is also the card about taking a risk. So if someone has not left your home, this is you perhaps thinking about leaving the home. This is the Marriage card. Or it's the shacking up card, because I don't see any marriage here. So this could be about the shacking up card. But this card represents stability. It represents a celebration. It represents building things and having firm foundation. And we can see that someone's been struggling with this, okay? And maybe they have had to put other relationships to the side while they struggle with work, or they've had to put other relationships aside because somebody was sick in the family. This could be about not having enough time for yourself and your personal relationships suffering. And this indeed may have caused some kind of issue. Coming down this way, I have the Three of Wands with this King of Coins. Now, the King of Coins is going to represent a earth sign. He is going to be a Virgo, a Capricorn, or a Taurus. But if it's not a Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus, this is somebody who, he might be a banker, he might be a stockbroker, he might be an accountant, he's going to be a business owner, he's going to be relatively wealthy, or someone who is really financially stable. He can also be someone who's very, very stuck and slow and determined and doesn't want to move. He can also be someone who's very stingy, not only with his money and things that he has. He can be stingy with his affections. He can be stingy in the way that he thinks. He can be like a despot. He could be someone who's very, very materialistic, and holds store or holds weight by the things that he owns, and the places that he's able to go, and the kind of power that he can wield in terms of the fact that he has money. Now, I see we have the Nine of Swords, and the Nine of Swords is about nightmares, anxiety, worry, and fear. Remember, I was telling you about this Ten of Wands here, the Saturn card. This represents Mars and Gemini, and Mars is in its detriment. We're looking at all of this fire, and so Mars is a fire planet. It actually rules Aries. Gemini is an air planet. So this could be about having aggressive thoughts or being aggressive in your speech, or because it is a nightmare, maybe this is about being afraid to speak up for yourself with this individual. As we can see, we have Five of Cups, Four of Wands, and then the Nine of Swords. I do feel in one respect that this is a separation trying to occur. Perhaps maybe this is why we have this card. The reason why I say that is because of the Judgment card here. This could be about being very, very sad because someone returned, but they have decided not to stay. Now, for some of you, if you are not attached or in a relationship, if you are single, I dare say that there's going to be somebody new coming into your sphere. However, the warning with this Knight of Wands is that, first of all, the person may not stick around. So, you may not be able to protect your heart from hurt, but be cautious and give the trust as it's earned. Don't necessarily trust the person right off the bat because maybe they have a fancy car, or maybe they spend a lot of money on you, or maybe because those are the outer trappings, okay? Basically, this is what this card is speaking to me about. It is about the self, the presentation of the packaging, okay? Yeah, we always want to make sure, that we would hope that we are physically attracted to those people that we are interested in. That's typically the first thing that draws us in. We like the way they look. We like the way they dress. Maybe they smell good. Maybe they drive a nice car. Maybe they live in a good neighborhood. Maybe they have a great job. Okay, but that doesn't tell you what they're like on the inside. So I would dare say that if somebody new comes, that you go slowly and go cautiously. We are still under the Mercury direct phase. We have some planetary transits coming up in February. Right around Valentine's Day. So, if you're interested in finding somebody new, I would say get out and circulate. Yes, but be cautious. And if some of you are coming from a boomerang, from a rebound situation here, that's still going to give you a little bit of trouble. And so the warning is to be cautious, but don't be so cautious that you don't give anybody a chance. Okay? That's how you limit your choices. And that's, again, what Saturn is all about, that limiting self-sabotaging behavior sometimes. Now, for those of you who are in a committed relationship and or are married, I feel that there's a legal issue that's about to come up. And this row tells me that this particular individual, even if he is not a earth sign individual, this tells me that this person perhaps has all of the power financially, may have more money than you, but this person has definitely said that they are wanting to move on. And this speaks to me about the anxiety or the fear about how that's going to play out. Okay, we go to 3. This could be about the 5 of Cups with the 4 of Wands, could be simply sadness over the fact that the home life is a little discombobulated here. I'm going to pull Sibila's first on this 10 of Wands. Then I'm going to look at the 5 of Cups. This looks like it could have been some type of reconciliation that has come about, but it's not going well. And there's a lot of worry and fear and anxiety here. And this card is saying, you know, get a handle on that and try not to allow your fears and your sadness to mire you down too much. I know that's easier said than done if you've, you know, if you're going through a separation or divorce, or you find out that your mate has been unfaithful to you. And there's more than one way to be unfaithful. It may not even be a full-fledged affair, but you know, you could be texting someone. We have the messages here. You know, Facebooking someone. You know, that's called emotional cheating. There could be financial cheating. Somebody's making money and they're hiding it away from you. There's many ways to cheat on people. Hello. Hello, little dog. Good morning. Come on. Come on. Come on, sweetie. Okay. Now, hop up there. Hop up there. That's a good girl. All right. Hang on one second. I'm almost done, and we're going to take you outside the potty. Hang on. Hang on. Sit still. Indeed. Struggling with, okay, this is Fortune. She represents the wheel of fortune. So this is about the cycle of ups and downs. This is representative of Jupiter. So we know that in the past that there was something really, really positive, a lot of positive things going on. But it's almost like here with the melancholia that the cards say that, you know, things aren't that way anymore. There's a little bit of lackluster. Maybe you guys aren't talking the way that you used to. Maybe you aren't having sex anymore. Maybe you aren't, you know, but because there's a lot of things going on. All right. The Lamika. Now this is the relationship of trust. And what this tells me is that there could be some difficulty in trust in a relationship. However this means, this could be in a work, this could be you, not exactly, somebody at your job has backstabbed you or done something that kind of quite surprised you. You thought you were off to a good start, and this could be about repairing some type of relationship, but then something falling apart here, or maybe just a realization that, you know, this isn't going to work. Let's take a look at this Five of Cups here. This is definitely about a loss of some kind, something that was close to the heart. That could be anything. You know, it could be anything. Loss of a pet. It could be anything. Yes. Remember I was saying that this person could be very stubborn. Unnecessary loss. We see someone who's not moving. Now, they are either not moving because they don't want to move or budge from their position, or they are constrained in some way, perhaps through their activities. Falling on this this cup card here kind of tells me that the person's emotions are no longer the same. Okay, as we can see, the person is looking. Okay, this is the Belvedere. This is about planning and foresight. This person is looking for some type of new constancy or new faithfulness. This is La Costanza. But she can also speak to the card of patience. You see, she falls on the side of the Two of Cups. So this, I feel, is about a relationship that is dwindling. That could be either through someone coming in, a third party coming into the situation. I do feel that there could be children involved here. And if you have been worried about how this may play out, this card says that you're going to be getting some news, and perhaps that news, what you've been so worried about, is going to help you. That is the international symbol of help, that flag there. This could also be dealing with somebody who lives in Switzerland. There is a lot of fire here, so this could be a foreigner, someone who's actually lives in another country or has a different culture from you. And this is what Aquarius rules. It rules groups, doing things not in the sense of personal gain, but for the betterment of the group or the community. So it could boil down to the fact that there's a relationship that's struggling and having problems. Why? Because one person's religious beliefs or their spiritual beliefs, perhaps their family, their clan, their group is totally different, and they may be against bringing someone from the outside in. Okay. Cultural differences. That's what it speaks to. Maybe this is, might be the father who's saying, if you marry that person or you get with that person, I'm going to cut you out. It could play out in any number of ways. So this could be the other person being very, very saddened by the loss, but they are upholding their family values. And this is what this card can sometimes represent. It could be all about the values that you were raised with, those rock solid things. But as we get older, we have to learn to question our values and take a hard look at them, because what served us as children under living in the home with our parents perhaps no longer applies to our life now. This could be about, like I said, maybe someone leaving home and trying to say, well, you know what, I don't care if you're going to disinherit me or whatever. And they're gathering their willpower to make that move. Let's take a look at the Nine of Swords here. Wow, this is interesting. I have the card of Morte, and ending, a complete and utter separation from a situation. We see that that falls on the Nine of Swords. Fears, anxieties, worries, the subconscious coming up, that negative self-talk. Messaggere, a message from far away. This could be, maybe you have not heard from the individual. Maybe there has been an ending already, and you are worried that you may never ever hear from that person again. And the Bambino. This is about something new, the birth of something new. And indeed, we have judgment here. That could play out, I guess, in any way. But as we know about death, it is a transmutation energy of a situation, because one thing ends, and when it ends, it makes room. Remember, I was just telling you that nature abhors a vacuum. It brings something new in. So this could literally be about, you're not going to hear from this other person again. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. That depends upon them. Everybody has free will. But whatever the case may be, I do feel that something new is going to come out of this. There's some kind of resurrection of something. Okay, these people are being called to a new life. It is a resurrection. This could be even a work project, something that you had put on the back shelf. You didn't think you were ever going to get it started again, and suddenly the news comes in. Okay, and you're able to pick it up. It's got new life. It's got new life. Now, whatever this did not answer, I'm going to pull one angel answer card. I do feel for some of you, you're dealing with someone who's a foreigner and someone at a distance. And this could even be in a work because of all of the Wands cards. This might be a foreign business partner that you're dealing with. One card. Remember I said it's like a resurrection? The card says communicate clearly. Can you see that? All right. That's what I have for you, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Again, if you're interested in a personal reading, simply click on the little banner on the right-hand side. That'll take you directly over to the website. Until next time, namaste.